Right, hello and welcome. Welcome back to another stream. Whoops. I forgot to do that. There we go, mute the laptop. Right, so this week we are doing Marvel Mechsuits. Like I say, I got these, I think it was like mid-January. I've just been waiting for the opportunity. So yeah, we've got sets 76338, 315 pieces, the Mech Battle between Spiderman and Dr. Octopus. So yeah, this is it's a newer revised version of the Spiderman mech suit from last year, and this is completely new. This looks awesome. And then, because that'll probably only take just over an hour to build. Oh, whoops. I've also got the Miles Morales mech suit. Set 76337, 135 pieces. Yup, we was just talking about you. Oh, my ears must have been burning. You alright, mate? How was Bricktastic? Hope it went well. Yeah, so 3 mech suits in total, 2 sets. So let's get started. So how did I crop up in your conversation then? Exhausting and very sore but fun, yeah. Did you get any reasonably priced rare sets? Because I imagine that's, you know, part of the reason why you were there. Pedro asking if spoke with you. I said no. No, I've been a bit busy the last couple of days. Yesterday I was at my mate's, sort of belatedly celebrating his son's birthday. I got Sir 220 quid under market. Can you be a bit more specific? Oh, right, so we got the flexi spider webs. Nothing else in there, no? Right. Hello, RDMDK. You alright, mate? Right, as it goes, yeah. There we go, there's the first one. Doing well, how goes it? Not too bad. Sort of a bit late starting because I was spinning my washing to make it a bit less damp, so it didn't take as long to dry. I also picked up a Spider-Man set to build on stream tonight. Okay, tonight, right, I remember that. So, which one are we going to do? I think we'll do the Spider-Man one first. So, 1, 2, 3. So, it looks like the Doc Ock is bags 2 and 3. I picked up a haul, we'll show it tomorrow. Are you doing a stream tomorrow, are you? Cool. Right, I'll just have to remind myself to go to Red's stream tonight and yours tomorrow. Yes, cool. Well, all I've got on tomorrow really is to do some washing, so I'll be in a bit in and out, but I'll have you up on the laptop watching away. No worries, Red. And it's that. There's the cool down finished. RDMDK. 23 seconds. Right. So we've got one little bag. Right, done my chores. This is my reward. Well, thank you very much. I'll keep you company for the next couple of hours. Hopefully it'll be about 2.5 hours, depending. Because like I say, we've got 3 mech suits. I did the clone shock trooper for a YouTube video, and that took me about 30-35 minutes. So going on the fact we've got 3 mechs, the Doc Ock mech has got a few more bits, so that will take a bit longer. But yeah, this is more like the Iron Spider, because it's got loads of all these gold trim bits, and it's darker. It's like more of a royal navy blue than a bright blue that's on the previous mech suit. Right, so I'm assuming that the Spiderman minifigure is the same as the previous mech suit. There's not really much point changing it, because you're not gonna, if he's in the mech suit, you're not going to be seeing most of his body. Where's his head? There he is. He's hiding. Right. So there we go. Hello, gorgeous. Hello, Pedro. You alright, mate? Nice to see you. To see you nice. So there's little Spiderman. Right, so where do we start? Ah, right, so the carapace. So we've got the bit that Spiderman sits in, and then we've got the chest piece. That click, right, and that fits snugly, like it was engineered. Yeah, not too bad. Sorted my washing out. Got myself a cup of tea. Oh, right, let's quickly do that before I forget. Now that the RDMDK. There we go. If you haven't already followed RDMDK, I implore you to. He does Lego builds as well, but from what I've seen, he specialises in taking photos of the builds and then sort of editing them. Yep, so I'm getting sidetracked. So we've got little, where are they? Very dark grey. ¿Dónde estás? There we go. So we've got these little 1x2s with the little ball joint on the end. We've got 2 of those. So there you go. Right, like that. So we face it that way, and they go on either side. So yeah, that would be the arms. Right. Right, there you go, you can see the instructions. So, hang on, so what are we doing? So we face it that way, and we've got one of these little truncated trapezium shapes. So that goes, yeah, that goes on like that, yeah? And then a 1x2 in this dark blue. So that goes on there, and then we've got a little tiled red semicircle, and apparently that goes like that. I hope everybody's well today. So what's that? Oh, that's a half. We've got a little half cylinder piece. Yeah, so that goes on the back like that. So there's a little, yeah, a one plate difference. So what goes on the top there then? So we've got these little bars with a one stud, and they go on the top at an angle. Kind of like that. Yeah, not quite fully out, but right. And then a little circular tile, and that holds these bars in place. And then we've got the Spider logo. Where's that hiding? There it is. Yep. See, and that logo is different to the one on the other Mechsuit as well. I think when I've built it, I'll bring the other one out for comparison, just so as you can see the differences. Because even though the main body is virtually the same, how it's built, some of the tiles and the prints and yeah, because you've got these bits on the back. These aren't on the other mech. So we'll put that to one side. Got one of these bricks. Scott, if you look in the admin room later, it shows the streams build coming up. Okay. What, on Discord? So that goes underneath. Shows the streams build coming up. Cool. Right, and then we've got this, like one on each side. So I imagine that's like for the pelvis. So, right. Oh, we've got these like pieces that look like slippers. We've got two of those, and they go across the top. Secure that in place a bit more. So where's the other one? It's hiding. Yeah. There it is. Oh no, wrong one. There it is. That's how it goes. Right, so you have like the slope. And then we've got the two of these overhang pieces. So there, one across and two down. So they go on there and hang over the sides. There it is. Right. So we've got two studs on either side to build off of. Right. And then we've got the little quarter circle pieces in the dark blue. And they go facing each other rather than joining. So there we go. So it follows from the slope up. Right, and then we put a pin in the back. So that's the swivel point for the torso. Excuse me. Right. Alright, first bit of gold trim, so that way is it? Yeah. Right. So we've got these like slight overhang, but it's like almost like a claw shape that overhangs. So that goes, hang on, right. So that goes there. Ooh. So the overhang comes into the middle at the back. Ooh, there it is. So yeah, and that one goes the other side there. Ooh. There we go, right. And then got the sort of slope pieces. Got two of those, one either side to hold that little overhang on. Right, and this is where we connect the two. So see, this is the unique thing of these Marvel mech suits, that they swivel. Yeah. It's the only thing I wish the Star Wars mech suits would do. It's just like the Star Wars mech suits have kind of not evolved beyond the point, whereas no, they're these pieces. So you've got the knee joint, but it doesn't bend. I've got a surprise later for something else, and the arms and legs do bend on the last one that I'm going to do. But I'm not going to tell you what it is until I actually show you it near the end of the stream. So, put that to one side. Because this is like the latest evolution of the Marvel mech suits, and the one I'm going to show, question is, my friends, will it blend? So, sorry, carry on. Right, so we start on the... Will it blend? Are you talking about the the guy on YouTube that just shoves stuff in blenders? Right, and then we put a little bit more. Probably would, but it'd knacker the blender. Right, so that goes on there. Then we've got some overhang pieces. That one on there, and then a black one. Ooh. Same with the Sonic mechs. If it weren't for the Knuckles and Rouge minifigs, I probably wouldn't have bought that set. Yeah. This is the thing. It's like most of the time I'm buying them for the minifigs. So do you know what I mean? In Spider-Man's case, I've already got one that I think is exactly the same. But I'm not bothered because Spider-Man's my favourite, so I don't mind having duplicates of him. It's just that the Mechsuit itself is significantly different. But yeah, you know, there's certain characters, because I like Marvel, that I want the minifigs of. But yeah, from what I've seen of those Sonic Megs, they look a bit sort of shorter and chunkier. But then I suppose, you know, that's from the design of from the game as well. So right, so that's like one of these pieces. I do like those shapes. And that goes on the top. With the arrow bit facing the elbow. And then, right, and then we finish off that side with some blue. So we've got these little truncated bits. And that one goes, or have I got the wrong shape? Yeah, I think I've got the wrong one. There we go. So that goes on the side there, yeah, like that, and then another one of those little quarter circles. The dude invented the blender. He was using it as a publicity stunt. Lol. He blended a... Whoa! So it was to test how tough it was, you know, how tough the blades were. That it wouldn't... it wouldn't bend the blades. That must be an awesome, powerful blender. Right, so that's that side done. And then... put the other socket joint on the end. Must be a terribly powerful blender. But yeah, that's like people saying stuff's waterproof and they do a physical demonstration. Right, so we've got overhang, but 2 on the top, 4 on the side. So that goes... Does it go with a space? I've missed a bit, haven't I? No, I haven't. Little one plate, so that goes blend tech. Alright. So does that go... I think that goes like that, so you've got that bit covering the elbow, right. And then got 2 of the red slope pieces, and they go extend over the forearm. Right, and then a dark blue slope piece, and that goes, yeah, so that just covers that over, and then we build on the side. So got one of these weird 2x1s with a grabber on it. Right, so that goes, right, so it goes in the middle of the 4, and then another red sloped piece. So what's this? Right, okay. So we've got a rounded edge, one stud. So that goes on the end, facing that way. Yep. And then we've got this little gold looking bar. And that fits on the grabber on the side. So you got that little bit of gold trim. Alright, so we turn it over. And we put the slightly domed plates on. 2x2s. Right. So that goes underneath. So that's the upper arm, yeah. And then a red one underneath the forearm. There we go. Right. So, oh, rather maybe maybe it's a leg. I thought it was an arm. That's the thing with these. Sometimes you can't tell whether it's an arm or a leg until you've actually done it. Until the instructions show you where to put it. Right, so right leg. Yeah. Okie doke. More socket joints. Oh, slurping my cup of tea. Right, hang on. There we go. Paste. Put my Discord link in the chat if you want to join, so you can put your photos and photos of Lego builds. You can put your memes in there. You can put stuff that's to do with sci-fi. There's a section in the Discord called "It's Bigger on the Inside," which is a reference to the TARDIS. So yeah, there's loads of other sections. There's if you had a particularly good looking or delicious meal, you can put pictures of that in there. It's what we call the food porn section. Where's that bit gone? And there it is. I also put my YouTube channel link in right at the top of the chat. I might put it in later, right at the end of the stream. But yeah, whenever I do a stream on Twitch, I upload it to YouTube, so I've got a record of it. Because obviously on Twitch it disappears after 7 days now. Where's that? There it is. Right, so. But yeah, you'd be very welcome if you decide to join. I've also got a just chatting voice channel in there that everybody can jump in if you'd like to come in and have a chat about Lego or other stuff. Alright, so that goes on the side. Right, and then we put the other socket joint on the other end. Then, right, a little bit of red there, and then the other, where is it? There it is, the other. So, and then we start building the top bits. Oh, hang on, I've put it on wrong. It's supposed to go one across. There we go. Yeah, generally I try to do some kind of content at least once a week. So whether it's a Twitch stream, usually I do a Twitch stream every other week, and then the week in between I'll do like a straight to YouTube, usually a little set just for a little video. But I don't try to have, you know, a proper schedule, because I'm only a part-timer. I'm not like a pro streamer or anything. I just do it for fun. I just like sharing what I'm building. I'm sure that's the same with a lot of you as well. So I just like sharing the love of Lego. So that goes in there. Ooh. Right. And then a bit on the side. So there we go. The other little bit of gold trim. So that's, no, it's not quite central. Whoops. There we go. And then we turn it over and we put the red disc. Oh, and then the black disc. Right, and then that's that. So that's the left leg. Oh, snap. So onto the arms. So what's this? Right. One of those on top of there, and then underneath one little one stud. This is the feet, yeah. Feet before the arms. My mistake. Right, so we put that on the front. And then a little rounded off. There we go. Another little one stud with a hole in. So that goes on there. And then another one of those little rounded off tiles to finish it at the back. And then we put a pin in. And then we do that again, because obviously we've got 2 feet. So you rewind. Definitely interested to see what you got at Bricktastic tomorrow. Right, then the other pin, and there we go, there's the 2 feet done, so there we go. So we because it's Spiderman, they're thin feet. Usually on the mechs they're kind of like, they're 2 bricks wide, 2 studs wide. But Spiderman's never been super chunky, so you know what I mean, he's always been slim and lean. So onto the arms. Right, so got this like 2x1 with a bar on the end, so that goes like that, yeah. And then we got some more gold trim, so we got another double long bar, and that goes off that side, and then a 2x2 gold trim. Then one of these, it's a slight slope as well. So that goes on the end there, and then we got the 2x2 tile with the little stud in the middle, and that gets that in place. And then the other socket joint, and then what have we got here? Oh, whoops. So we got a 1 tile. Is that right? Yep. And then we've got, oh hang on, no, I've got that wrong. It's the 2x1 with a grabber on. So, and then a little bit of dark blue. gold trim, but like that truncated corner, right angle, slightly shiny. And then, yeah, we put the fingers and thumbs on. See, this is part of the evolution of the Marvel mech suit. These are the pieces that they use for fingers on the Marvel mechs. But then you've got the fingers on the Star Wars mechs are chunky, and on some of the older Marvel mech suits the fingers are chunky as well. It's just like they've made them sort of more slimmer and they look more like fingers. So and one on the side. So there we go. Thumbs up. So, yep. So that's the left arm. Yep, right, on to the next one. So, socket joint. Oh, excuse me. Right. So, that there. Yep, right, and then fingers. So there we go. So that's the main body of the mech done. But now, oh whoops, we've got the extra little bits. We've got kind of like shoulder pauldrons. So I've got these little bars again. So that goes on like that. And then there we go, and then turn that over, and we've got a little disc. So, and then how does that fit on there? Okay. No? Okay, right, so does that... So that's clicks into there, and that kind of sits there. There we go. Looks a bit unusual, but I'll get used to it. Right. And then same for the other side, but a mirror image. So that goes under the under there. And then the disc again underneath. Ooh. There we go. And then so it's like he's got shoulder pads. Yeah, he's got shoulder pads. Hello 1980s. We want our shoulder pads back. Right, so the one we've got the last couple of bits to go. So we got all these rounded off 1x3s. Got a little gold one stud, and then we got these gold coloured stud shooters. First time I've seen them in gold. Right, so that goes on like that, and then we've got a gold cheese wedge grill, and that sits on the back. Right, and they've got little spider arms. So, see, these are the... On the earlier versions of the Marvel Mechsuits, this is what they used for fingers. So, I'll give you a visual demonstration. So instead of those red ones, that would be the thumb. And you'd have those as the fingers as well. It's fair enough if, like say, I've got those on the War Machine Mechsuit, but they suit them because it's a chunkier Mechsuit. But yeah, but the Star Wars Mechsuits use an even different one from that for the fingers, and it just makes the fingers look a little bit stubby, like there's not enough length to them. So we take that, and we've got these little dark grey double pins. So that sits in like, pushes in like that, and then we put a gold stud with a hole over the top of the pin, and then that clips in like that. We do that again. That goes on there. And then the other grill plate. Rod. And then there we go. Oops, that's the other one now. So, how do these attach? Okay, so they're on the bars on. Yeah, so these bars we put in earlier. Let's bring them out a tiny bit. So, they kind of extend and overarch. So they're kind of like the spider arms of the Iron Spider suit. But rather than being arms as such, they're stud shooters. Ooh. But yeah, I like the look of that. So let's put Spiderman in. Have we got any other little bits of trim? No? Obviously got the studs that go in. Ooh. Spider limbs on the back, yeah. Ooh. Is that going to click in? There we go. Sometimes they can be a bit... I wish they'd still have just used the normal studs, because there's a little gap in there now. If they'd just used normal translucent studs, they fit in there more snug. But now they've just put the tiled studs in, and there's a bit of a gap and it's loose. I mean, they click in okay. It's just a bit wobbly, bit wibbly wobbly. Right. Ooh. So, obviously, sit him down in the canopy and close him, and there we go. So, let's have these pointed a bit more forward. But yeah, I can understand why they didn't give him the second pair so he's like, you know, eight legs or 8 arms. Because we've got Doc Ock in a minute, and that's got, you know what I mean, it's got the 4 limbs and then it's got the 4 robotic arms. So I imagine they didn't want them to look too similar. But yeah, that looks really cool. Can always mock, yep, exactly. It's a bit skew-F. But yeah. So hang on a sec, I shall get the other Spider Mech so we can compare and contrast. Oh, bit dusty. Right. So yeah, this is the original one. Oh, hang on, he's not standing up properly. So look, there's the compare. So I mean, we've got the darker blue, because this is more like Tom Holland's Spider-Man suit with the darker blue, but then it's brighter blue on here. See, these bits are the same. These upturned quarter circles, but just a different colour, so that's similar. The difference in the logo. And the way they've done the legs as well. See, look, these have got the extra bit on the front, and whereas they're just plain there. Plus, they're built up the side with the side pieces. Have them duke it out, yeah. Well, it's like the meme, isn't it, where they're pointing at each other. Do you know what I mean? Who are you? I'm Spider-Man. No, I'm Spider-Man. No, I'm Spider-Man. Yeah, exactly. You know the score. Right, let's have him. He's a bit skew here, so he's not going to stand up properly. Oh, hang on, I've forgotten a bit. I was supposed to put that on the front. Cover his knee up. There we go, that's better. So, let's change so he's going to stand up properly. But yeah, there's loads of. I mean, obviously the fingers are the same, but the fact that he's also got these discs on the inside of the hands, and there aren't any on the inside of there. We've got these on the inside, they're the same. But yeah, and also, let's have a look. Because I think, let's have a look. Ooh. Yeah, they look like, well, I think that spider logo on his chest is a tiny bit darker and bigger. But I think apart from that, at least they've got the prints on there. Yeah, I think they're... I mean, technically, because we've got the Spider-Verse now, it's like, well, you know, you can still have two Spider-Mans that are, you know, pretty much identical with the same suit, but they're different Spider-Mans because they're from different universes, isn't it? They've opened up all those possibilities now. Right, oh, whoops. So, let's put him back in there. More Spider-Man, safer your Lego neighbourhoods will be. Good point. Yeah. Right, is he stood up properly? That sounds like a meaty motorbike that just went past. Right, let's go and put him back. Right, so that's the first mech done. Got a few spares left over. Liking the Transformer ink. Have all the Lego sets too. No, I've only got Soundwave. I don't know if I might have to find out whether. Yeah, I've just got, like I say, I've got they were a birthday present. I managed to get a good deal on them, so they were a combo package for one of my birthdays. They're not, like I say, they've faded a little bit and the lines aren't particularly good, but I like them. Yeah. I'd love to get a new tattoo sometime soon, but it's just depending on how big the design is, whether I get charged per hour or whether I get charged for the tattoo in its entirety itself. So, right, let's put him to the side a little bit. Ooh, still see him there. So, on to Doc Ock. I think I might take a break after I've done Dr. Octopus. So, bag 2. Ooh, it's got a little, really tiny bag inside. Right. I like the combination of light green and dark green as well. So, to start off with, to be fair, pretty lame ass version of Ghost Spider. See, this is another one that I can make the comparison of. See, I bought the version of this that was from the previous one before CMF series, and I'll show you. I think they've just bunged this generic. Yeah, they've just bunged this generic Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, in with the set to make it seem as though there's more value. But look at the difference. The eye detail's bigger. The hoods are the same, I think, yeah. There's a little bit more detail on the body, actually. Yeah. I think what I might do is, yeah, the CMF, yeah, this one's much better. See, look, you've got the dual molded legs with the trainers on. The shoulders win out on that one. Yeah, look, see this bit on the body is a bit more slinkier. They've kind of like feminized the print on the body, and then you've got these little extra bits that aren't on this one. So what I might do is take the body from this one and put it on this one, and then, yeah, give away this one, because, do you know what I mean? This one is much better. You've got the, do you know what I mean? Prints on the arm. And this, do you know what I mean? They haven't even bothered with prints on the legs. This is just generic black legs. And you know what I mean? White hands when you get the law accurate pink gloves with the outfit. Hello, Stephen. You alright, mate? Yes, I'm not doing too bad. Hope you're doing well as well. Thank you for being here. But yeah, this is much more detailed. Do you know what I mean? You've even got the dual moulding at the back. But yeah, this one's body is much better. See, look, there's more detailing on the back there as well as the more on the front. So yeah, oops. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll take the body off of this and put it on that one, and you get like the best of both. But come on, Lego, do you know what I mean? If body's better, why didn't they put the body of this one on that one originally, seeing as this is the CMS series and it's supposed to be much better? But anyway, right. Yeah, I'll probably give my my friend's nephew likes Spiderman, so he might be interested in having one of those for his collection once I swap the bodies over. But yeah, so put her there. So I don't know. She's called Ghost Spider on the box, but I call her Spider-Gwen. That just makes too much sense. Unheard of at Lego Corporate. Well, yeah, I mean, it's the same with the Star Wars Clone Troopers. They make some funny decisions. I mean, I can understand why that one isn't as detailed, because, like I say, it's a bonus. We've bunged it in the box as you know, like, supposed to give the impression of better value, but yeah, well, you know, can't win them all, can't please everybody, I suppose, as they say. Can only please some of the people some of the time. So there we go. And then same as with how we started with the Spider Mech. We have, where are they? We've got the ball joints that go across there. whilst we're here. Oh, I maybe spelt it wrong. Okay. I spelt it right. There we go. There we go. If you'd like to give Stephen X Kal-El 13 a follow, I'm sure he would appreciate it, and I would appreciate it as well. But yeah, he mostly streams Dead by Daylight. A few weeks ago he was streaming Star Wars Outlaws. Did a fair few hours of content on that one. I haven't got round to playing it again yet. I've got too many games. But yeah, hopefully soon, next few days maybe, I might... what are you working on? We're working on the... We've got the revised Spider Mech with the extra arms coming up the top, so we've done that one. But it's a double combo pack, so... We've got Dr. Octopus as well. And then once we've done that, I'm going to take a break. But then we've also got this one as well, the Miles Morales Mech. And then there's a special secret bonus at the end that I will show. I'm not going to show it you all now. But yeah, I got a little something extra in the post on Monday that I've been wanting for ages, so I saw it really cheap. So that little bracket goes on the back there, yeah. So that'll be the bracket for 2 of the extra arms. So, and then 2 little grab bars there. Where's the other one? Oh, this does. There we go, found it. Right, so that goes on the other side there. Oh. Right, there we go. Bracket on the top, bracket on the sides. See, this is the set. This is the one that I brought the set for. It's nice having the alternate version of the Spider Mech, but this one's completely unique. So, yeah, it's never been done before. And I really wanted a minifig of Dr. Octopus, so... Right. Go. So we've got a little black semicircle, and that faces that way, like that, and then it's showing me that these are angled slightly. Do they come down all the way? Yeah, probably could. I don't know, let's put them a tiny bit up. Right, so, and then I've got one of these little circular 2x2s, and that goes secures all of those bars into place a bit better. Right, so a bit of bright green, sloping pieces, and then another one on that side. Ooh. There we go. See, what with the release of Avengers Doomsday, I'm kind of hoping they bring out a Doctor Doom mech suit, but it's how similar it will be to this one. They will have to. It'll probably have. So I'm playing Space Marines too. There was a massive update earlier, wasn't there? I think it was like nearly 20 gigabytes. So what's been updated? Right, so and then yeah, a little semicircle of green covers up that bit. There we go. Yes. So much change. Have they what? They put different modes in on and stuff. I'll have to check it out with you later. So I'm intending to be available later after I've had my dinner. Loads of stuff. Okay, cool. So, there we go. We have he has a new toy. Oh, a new weapon. I wonder what sort of weapon that is then. There we go, there's it's like he's got energy brewing. That's his the power to his suit. That's a cool little printed piece, nice. I imagine you've been slaying a lot of Tyranids then, yeah? Right, so got a black one of those this time, and a little bit of green underneath. So this is to start off the torso swivel piece. And then we have the double ball joint, and then some green slipper pieces. So 2 of those. I think he likes it. I think he does, yeah, from what he just said a minute ago. Alright, so we've got these 2 little overhangs again. Right, and then so is that yeah, silver one, okay, so that goes on there. And then, what was it? Oh, which way do we go? So we put the pin in there. And then we've got the same little claw-like overhang, but in black this time. So they go round like that. And that one on the other side. Yep, looks like the dark grey, so they go on top of the overhang. Either side. And then we have dark grey sloping pieces to finish that. There we go. And then that fits underneath the chest piece. So, yeah, like that. So he's kind of got like a belt buckle. Now we start on the legs. So we've got the socket joint. Turn it over. And instead of discs, we've just got reverse tile. So that goes under there. And then a black one. And we turn it back over. We put the other socket on the other end. And then a little bit of green on one end. Two by two with a circularised hole in the end. And a bit more green. And a bright green overhang. So, right, okay. So we got that piece and that goes on the side. And then we got a dark green sloping piece and that goes like that. And some 2x1 black cheese wedges. And they go at the top, facing into each other. Right, so that's the right leg. On to the next one. Another socket joint. And turn it over. Another reverse tile. And then the other one there. Turn it back over. Little bit of bright green there. And then that there. Then the other socket joint. And then the overhang. Yep. A sloping piece. There we go. And then the two cheese slopes. Right, and that's the left leg. So So we're getting there. Right, so we've got the arms. Oh no, we haven't, oh, I've got the feet, yeah, the feet. Always the feet after the legs, I keep forgetting that. So, we've got this 2x4 with 3 holes, because he's got chunkier feet. So we've got these translucent, are they, I don't know, they're kind of like orangey red rather than proper red. So that goes on there. Then we got another reverse 2x2 plate. And then some sloping black pieces for the front of the feet. And a dark grey with a hole in the middle. And then a little 2x1 cheese wedge at the back. So there we go, there's one. Yeah, so I put the pin in so we can attach it to the bottom of the leg. Right, and we repeat that. So we rewind. Right, there we go, so that's both feet. Oh, whoops. There we go. It's easy to stand up because he's got chunkier legs. Chunkier feet. So just make sure he's level. Right, there we go. Hello, Craig. You alright, mate? Yeah, I'm having an alright. It's a bit windy outside today, but like I say, so we're on bag 3. So this will be all the robot arms. Yeah, defo not as nice as yesterday. Yeah, as long as you put a coat on, you know what I mean. I keep, when I go out for a smoke, I keep forgetting to put a coat on, and I'm like, ugh. So next time I'm gonna say, once I've finished, oh whoops, once I've finished bag 3, I'm gonna go for a smoke break. We got another little tiny bag. But yeah, my laptop says it's 12 degrees centigrade, so I did the same. I saw it and was like, F, yeah, I'm going outside in the sun. Regretted it fast. Yeah, that's the thing, it looks looks nice and bright, but it's still not warm enough. I mean, it's like I say, it says 12 degrees, it just doesn't feel like 12 degrees with the wind. Right, there we go. So Right, bag 3. So, there we go. Where's his legs? There we go. So, there we go, look. Dr. Otto Octavius. Finally in my collection. And he looks like he's based off from Alfred Molina, who plays Dr. Octavius. With the dark brown hair and the goggle glasses. Yeah, and what we got? We got those are all like the points that the arms go into. Very cool. See, not bothered as much that he hasn't got printing on the arms and legs, because it's quite a nondescript character. But yeah, that's cool. Right, let's sit him in the carapace. So there we go. He's all nice and secure. Right, let's get on with the robot arms. Well, the arms and the robot arms, because he's got 2 little arms and then he's got the 4 big arms. Right, so we start with these pieces that would have previously been used for the fingers, but now have been repurposed. So, what have we got? We put these little rods in. So we do that 2 times. So we get the other. There we go, there's the other rod. Right. So we've done 2 of those. And how do they go in? So they connect to those bars there, yeah? Either side. Oh, hang on. I've connected them wrong. Ah, I've done it up. Yeah. Okay. I've got to pop to the shops, but I'll be living and lurking while I'm out. No worries. Get your stuff sorted. That's what I try and do. I try and get to the shops before it gets too late. Get it all sorted. So, that's the start of 2 of the arms. Or have I put... Or does it go? Yeah, I think they go. They bend in like that. There we go. We'll find out when the rest of the bits go on there. So, yes. Do that now as well. X6. There we go. Give a shout out for Stoner Crage. Give him a follow if you wouldn't mind. He's a variety gamer, he plays loads of different games. sometimes plays Call of Duty, sometimes plays Dead by Daylight, sometimes plays Fall Guys. Lots of different games. So, what now? So we've got this little bracket with a hole off of the side. And that needs a pin in it. Stick a pin in it. Right. And then we've got a wheel piece. That's usually the inside of a wheel, isn't it? Yeah. So we stick that on. And then we've got some green. And then a double bar. And one of these dark green arrow pieces. There we go. And then I've got one of the fingers in the middle. See, these are the little arms. They've only got 3 fingers rather than 1 thumb and 3 fingers, so hang on. Yeah, so we've got 1 facing down and 2 facing up. Right. So they're more like a pincer claw rather than fingers and thumbs. Yep, right, so we do that again. So rewind. We need another pin. We need another wheel piece. There we go. Another grab bar. And the arrow. And then the one below. Oop. And then 2 either side facing up. There we go. So how do they connect? They connect okay, so these socket joints aren't the arms, so they're what the robot arms link to. So where do these go then? Okay, they go on the, right, okay, I got it, they go on the bars here. So, change of plan, the shop is coming to me. Are you getting it delivered, are you? Yeah, no worries. So, they do have a bit of posability with that, using the wheel joint. So, that's all like little arms, just so that there's enough room around here to do all the robot arms well. Just got to keep an eye out, Glad, because I'm trying to find somewhere in Bournemouth to take Mum for dinner on Monday. Bournemouth, alright, I'm sure you'll find somewhere nice. I mean, it's just, yeah, that's it. no. They do need to be down a little bit, because otherwise they're going to get in the way of the robot arms. But not all the way down. There we go. So, like I say, there's a bit of posability. So, those is two main arms, even though they're small. We're off to see the Harlem Globetrotters at the International Centre, so I need somewhere we can spend rush hour if we go a bit early. Just look on your phone, innit? I mean, if you've got your location turned on, and you type in restaurants in the Bournemouth area, it should come up with somewhere. Or, you know, if you type in the International Centre, ask for restaurants that are close to the International Centre. Yeah, I got some ideas, just hoping with all the peeps we know someone can tell me if some closed now. Yeah. Oh, itchy legs. Oh, right. Another slurp of my cup of tea. I'm sure you'll find something nice. Right, so those are the arms put on. And now we start on the robot arms. The good bits. The best bits. Right, so we've got a reverse tile. And we got two of the socket joints either side. Oh no, okay, so we put another one on the front. And then a grab bar on the back. Worst part is Mum's sense of direction is worse than mine. At least well, yeah, that's what, you know, sat-navs were for. Me, I'm a pretty good navigator. I like collecting maps, so everywhere I go, I usually buy myself an A to Z of where I am. So, a few years back, me and my my mate Swampy, my main mod, went to Glasgow to see TNA wrestling, because I had some spare money. And as soon as we got off the coach, I went to the nearest WH Smith's and bought myself an A to Z. Right, so we got this little sort of half pyramid shape. Yeah, I've always loved maps since I was a kid. Geography was my favourite subject at school, so we've got these little sort of end of the roof eave kind of pieces. I hear Smith is closed. Yeah, I think they're downscaling, but also because it's changing to TP. Good navigator, you got us lost in a circle. Yeah, but video games are different. The maps are different on that. So, right, that's the bracket done. Yeah, when it comes to IRL, because when I was a child, we used to go on loads of road trips, and it was like lots of motorways and looking for the junction numbers. So, right, so we've got a lot of these balls and sockets, so we put 3 of these together, and these are like a toy. Oh yeah, these are very, just hope they don't snap, because they're quite snug. I'm the guy sitting in a circle looking for a corner to sit in. Yeah, my dad is Luton and my mum is New Zealand. Ah, right. So being near Reading, I spent most of my life travelling. Yeah, I used to go through Reading because I come from sort of Portsmouth, Southampton area. I used to take a lot of National Express coach trips to come up to Coventry to visit my dad for like a week's holiday. And then a few years later, sort of my dad asked me if I wanted to come and move to Coventry. But yeah, it was like, to begin with, I used to catch the National Express coach that went from Southampton to either Heathrow or Victoria in London. And then there was another coach that would take me from Heathrow or Victoria to Coventry via Milton Keynes. But then a few years later, as I got a bit older, they started a new route which was direct, so it went from Southampton to Coventry via Reading and Oxford. So, turn that over and we put the little silvery plates on. It's weird because, oh nice, I must admit we are pretty good for train link in Reading. Yeah, it's a big station there because it's like a junction between lots of different lines. So that's one of the robot arms done. And we've got these little sort of tri-cornered rings. Yeah. So what do we... So we've got... which way are we doing it? So one underneath, so the little stud underneath. I'm over the M4 side of Reading too, so I can get almost anywhere when I was driving. Yeah, it's part of the M4 corridor, isn't it? So we've got one of the little red studs. Oh, then we put the pin in the bottom. And then we put these little diamond pieces all the way around. See, look, these are unique. I've never seen ones like this before. So, whilst I'm here, I might as well do all of these at the same time because there's 4 of them. So, red stud on the top, dark grey on the bottom, and then the pin. And then the little diamonds around the outside again. It's all good until you get halfway up the M1 and they forget what a motorway is. No lights, no hard shot. Yeah, it's basically a dual. It becomes just a dual carriageway. It's like a bit like that down south with me when I was when I still lived in Southampton. So I think it was it. You'd come off. You'd go around Southampton on the M27. So you'd come out of the other side of Southampton, and I think, what was it, the M27 turns into the A31? But you get a sign saying the motorway's going to end, but there's not really much difference between what the M27 was and what the A31 is, because it's just a dual carriageway. Because it's more of a provincial motorway than, like a proper cross country. So So that's the second one done. Glad it was just the two of us, like at like 1 AM. Yeah, it can be quite scary. You just have to, I think you dip your headlights so you can see where you're going, but just in case somebody comes the other way and they've got bright lights on. Must have been such a random patch of oil. Well, it's sort of where the M27 and A31 converge. It's kind of where the start of the New Forest is. I used to like hiking through the New Forest quite a lot back in the old days, in my teenage and 20-somethings years. No, I spun out on some oil at the roundabout up there doing like 85. Was lucky I did a 180 and sat looking at the guy that had been behind me like, what the fuck was that? Yeah, you were lucky then. Right, last one. So I might as well get all these out of the way. I mean, yeah. But that's the thing, it's like instead of rather than doing a proper motorway junction where you have the roundabout on the top and then the sort of the exits going up to the outsides of the roundabout, that because the roundabout forms a bridge over the top, doesn't it? So, but if it's, you know, if it's close to the end of the M1, it's like they don't bother, they just put a roundabout in it. It's like, what? It's supposed to be a motorway. Yeah, after like 5 hours of driving, the one up the M1 just, yeah. I bet that's it's annoying. But that was what, do you know what I mean? When we were doing long journeys like that on those sorts of motorways, I'd be there with my map open, do you know what I mean? So they had advanced warning of when the motorway ended and the dual carriageway A road started. Right, so that's all the little robot, the ends of the robot arms. So we take the first robot arm and we attach that on then, and then we've got the bracket that it goes on. So obviously, yeah, we have to do one more of the arms. That's very snug. Yeah, they are a little bit fiddly. I used to have to go see my ex-missus up there like every other week. I don't mind road trips as long as where you're going to, do you know what I mean? You want to go there. If you're having to do it. Right, so that's, oh hang on, the other way around. I like the driving, but some of the roads you end up on are like, where the hell did this come from? Yeah, out in the middle of nowhere. Kind of fun finding all the little weird places. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the same as with the map out. I like looking at what like towns, little towns and villages we're passing through. So right, we take this bracket and we put one that side and one that side. And then that, right, so it's one either side. So we clip that in there, and then we pose the robot arms for display purposes. That looks cool. There we go. Right, so same again for the other side. So we've got the reverse tile. We've got the socket joints, and then the other one there, and then the grab bar. And a little bit of green. Hold that in place. Right, and then the overhang, and then the half diamond in lighter green. There we go. And then the other two robot arms. Shopping time. You just had the doorbell go for the delivery, have you? Right, so we're nearly finished. But as I said, that's only the second mech suit that we're building today. We've got the Miles Morales mech suit to do after my cigarette break. So, and then we have a surprise secret bonus when I've done the Miles Morales. So I've already done those, so they go on there. And they connect either side again. Very snug, right. And then that connects on the side here. Right, so hang on, let's get this right. I don't want to mess it up. And that clicks in there. And then we pose the arms. I imagine that's why they're so snug, so that they stay in place, so they don't flap about. But yeah, look at that. He's got his little dinky arms in the middle. But that's only because you won't be able to fit the full big ones like on Spiderman, as well as having the robot arms. But look at that, that's cool. Very imposing. Oh, oops. But yeah, I'll probably adjust these a little bit different later for when I display them on my desk. But yeah, I am well chuffed with that. That's really cool. So let's make sure it's standing up properly. Really cool. I'll leave that there so you can have a look. You can keep viewing it whilst I go for my cigarette. Let's stand him up properly. Yeah, very cool. Just have to remember to swap over the body of Spider-Gwen with the CMF one. I mean, so I get the best possible version. Take the body of that one and put it on this one. Right. I'm going to turn the sound off momentarily, so I'm going to mute the stream so that there's no outside interruptions whilst I roll a cigarette. But yeah, I shall be back in about 5-10 minutes. Right, thank you for waiting. I am back. Right, we are done with the dock lock. So we move on. So let's move these out of the way. Right. And we get, look, there we go. We've got the Morales Mech 76337. And it's only 135 pieces, but we get the bonus Spiderman 2099 figure. Which is a shame it hasn't got the detail on it that the CMF had. It hasn't got the little plastic cape, and it hasn't got the leg or arm printing. But, you know, it's a bonus minifig nonetheless. So, let's get into this. So, we got not numbered bags, but 2 medium bags and a small bag. And we got the extra spider webbing. I guess that's why they used it as the. But yeah, it's just to provide extra value. So it makes you think you're getting. Like I say, we got the bonus Spider-Gwen in with the combo set. But the CMF is better, apart from the body piece, which I'm going to swap over. But yes, right, so I think it's a case of just putting all the pieces in the tray. Right. The heads are in the bags. Right. Right, so all in one tray. Right. So there's the. There we go, there's Spider-Man 2099 from a different universe, and I think he's a villain because the guy that's in the suit I think he's got a Spanish sounding name. I can't remember his name, but yeah, apparently he's a villain. Got some cool printing on the body to indicate the cape, but the cape in the CMS is orange, so that's a bit weird. But yeah, he's pretty cool nonetheless. And then where's the head? Where's the head for Miles Morales? There he is. Oh yeah, there's the new version of Miles Morales. I've got the original version of him with the hoodie from the first Spider-Verse film, but I imagine this one's from the second one, Across the Spider-Verse, which I've yet to watch, so I might have to watch that soon, because there's supposed to be a trilogy of them, isn't there? But yeah, nice little printing on the back and the front. Very cool. So, on with the mech. So as you can see with the design, there's some unique pieces for this. We've got a special new stud shooter. It's like a plunger, so I imagine it shoots all 3 studs at once. And because Miles Morales has got electric powers, you know what I mean? He can shoot kind of like lightning from his hands. And I think his other special power is that he can go invisible. So minifig. Right, there we go. Ooh. So we've got the carapace, and then we've got the chest piece. Like a cool looking little spider logo. Nice. So that goes on the front of the chest piece. Cool. Right. And then, like the other ones, we put the ball joint pieces. Where are they? There we go. Either side for the arms. Right, and then some dark blue truncated corners. Kind of like, from that angle, they're kind of like the shape of the Superman logo, but they're like that. So we put one of those either side. And then we've got the, oh right, what's that? So where is it? Oh, my stomach's starting to make noises. Sounds like I'm starting to get hungry. Where is it? Where's the... Ah, there it is. It's kind of like a piece for a wheel arch on a car, but it's been repurposed. There's like a shoulder or a back piece. Yeah, it's like a back piece on this. So you put it on there, and it kind of finishes the shape of the body. Cool. Right, so what do we put? We've got some little cheese wedge pieces in dark blue. Usually I name them after the colour cheeses, but Danish blue, no, because there's no white bits in it. If it was a marble blue and white, then you could call it Danish blue. Or Stilton, but no. So yeah, two of those underneath. And then, what are they? Alright, little sloping pieces. So they go either side underneath the curve. So it kind of follows a curve. Right, there we go. Put that to one side, and we start on the torso. So we've got the piece with the hole in, and then dark blue 2x1 underneath, and then the double ball joint. So that goes on there like that. got the shoe pieces again. The slippers. Kind of look like little slippers. So they go on that way, with the slope facing the back. And then we've got those little hanging off side pieces. Studs down the side. Where's the other one? There it is. There we go. Right. And then similarly to the Spiderman one, we have the little quarter circle pieces. 2 of those. Which way? So, like that into the middle. Yep, and then the pin. So that pin goes in there. And then again we've got the overhang claw pieces. So they go around like that. And on the other side. Yep. And then red sloping pieces on top. Yeah, that's right. Got to check. Right, so that goes like that. And then we start on the legs. And we've got the socket joint. And then we've got the arrow pieces in black this time. Because Miles Morales' suit is sort of like mostly black with little bits of the dark blue and the red. And then the other socket. A little bit of blue on one side. And then circular edge, so that goes on the end there. And then a sloping bit down meets the arrow. Yep. And we have one of these overhang pieces, so that overhang sits there. Curved bit that goes over the top. holds that in place. Oh, there we go. And then we've got two of these one stud with a little claw off the edge, so there you go, one either side with the claws facing outwards. And then one of those sort of like, it's like a tile but with a bit of indentation on it. And that goes on the side there. And then we turn it over. And we've got two of those discs. Either end of the leg. Right, so that one of the legs. Another socket. Piece facing in. The other socket. Right, and then a little circularized end piece there. Straight, yep. And the sloping bit into the centre. Then the overhang. Curved red bit over the top to hold that in place. And then them two little blue clawed bits on the side. Goes over the top and holds that in place now. Turn it over. One disc there. Where's the other one? There it is. Right. So that's the nearly put it on upside down. Silly me. Right. Sorted. Now for the feet. So, a 3x1 circular end. A little red one stud with a hole in. And then a 4x1 with a round edge underneath. And then the slope piece. Another red one stud. little circular end piece there, and then a pin for the ankle. And then we do that again for the second foot. So you rewind the instructions. Where's it gone? Can't find it. Oh, there it is. Found it. Right. So that goes on the top of there. Ah, I forgot to put that on there. Right, so that goes on the back. And then we put one on the front. Another one on the front of there. And then we put the pin. Put the pin in there. There we go, and then we attach the feet to the legs. Cool. So, onto the arms. Now the arm pieces are in red rather than black. So, I've got a socket joint. Right, and then we've got 2x1 with a vertical grabber. So that goes on the side. And then we've got a grabber on the side of a 2x1, and that goes on the side there. And then we have one of those little down sloping arrow pieces, and that goes towards the middle with a little one there. Turn it over and put a red disc there. Turn it back over. And we've got this little grab pole overhang on a one stud. So that goes there. And then we've got the little grab rail that goes on the side there. Okay. So 2x4 with a grab rail on there. and then that goes in the middle. Then two little cheese wedges, and they go on the end. Face in the middle, like that. Then put that on there, and a circular tile with a hole in the middle. Right, and then that goes on there. So that goes on like that, yeah. And then we put the fingers on. So, there we go. Right, now we've got the stud shooter. So, we've got this special piece. So, we've got this rod, crosshatch rod with a stop on the end. So, saying that goes all the way through. So do we push it all the, yeah, push it all the way through. We put a little cap on the end, so that stops it. And then that fixes in that hole there. Yeah. That's cool. Right, it's different. So that fits on there. So that's his arm done. Onto the other arm. There's socket joint. And then the vertical grabber. And then the side grabber. And little one stood there. And a sloping arrow plate. Like that. Turn it over. Got the little disc plate there. Turn it back over again, and then we got we got one of these little with the side hole. So that goes on there, and then a little single grab plate the side there. Then a little bit of dark blue to hold them in place. And then a double grab plate on the end. And then put a 2x2 tile with a stud in the middle on there, and then the other sloping arrow plate going in towards the middle. Right, then we have a blue plug with a crosshatch on the other end, and this electric bolt with like a kind of a Technic hole on it. So we put that in there like that, and then that fits. Right, so that fits in. That fits in like that, I think. Ooh, so that the lightning's shooting out of his fingers. That's cool. Right. And then we put the fingers on. So there we go, there's the fingers with the lightning shooting off. That's really cool. So that fits on the left hand side. There we go. Right, so got the last little shoulder pauldrons, like that are similar to the ones on the Spiderman, these corner pieces. But not quite the same shape, they're like a full quarter hemisphere. Yeah. So oh, oops. So put that on there. And then that sits. Yeah, that sits on like that. I think. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Right, so how does that fit onto the... So that goes... There's that little grabber piece there, so that fits like that and then sits in. There we go. So we do that the other side. And then, yeah, so that goes. There we go. And then, how does that sit on there? There we go, yeah, that angle. And then folds in, covers the shoulder. So he's got shoulder pads as well. It's just slightly different shaped ones to the Spiderman one. Right. So, got the studs that go into the little shooter. So how did we fit them in? Right. Just like feed them in. So it fits 3 in, yeah? Right. And then you just, I don't want to fire them off, but you just like plunge it in and it fires all 3 out in one go. Nice. So, let's put the Miles Morales in the suit. So there we go, sits in the chest piece. There we go. So even though the basic design is the same as the Spiderman one and the Dr. Octopus, he's got some unique points, you know what I mean? He's got the different shoulders, he's got the bolt of lightning coming from his hands, and he's got the new specially designed plunger stud shooter. So yeah, that's really cool. But we have, oh, let's get him stood up straight. There we go. Let's put him in front. But yes, I promised that there was going to be a secret bonus surprise set. But I don't know, we've got 2 3/4 hours. I'm a bit knackered, stretching forward, and my back's killing me a bit, so I think I might give it a miss and do it in a special YouTube video. But yeah, they're all pretty cool. I've got the Miles Morales one, the Dr. Octopus one, and then the new Spiderman one. They're all looking pretty cool, especially the Dr. Octopus one. But yeah, I think that's me done for the day. I didn't think it was going to take me this long to do all 3 of the mech suits, to be honest. I thought I would have quite a bit of time spared left over to do the surprise bonus one. But yeah, I think I'll leave the surprise bonus one for a special YouTube video that I'll probably do that over the weekend. It's just my knees are hurting and my back's starting to hurt from leaning over. So I shall love yous and leave yous. I probably won't be doing another Twitch stream for another couple of weeks now, but I still have quite a few sets to be going on with. I've got 2 F1 cars, I've got Hot Wheels non-Lego set, I've got two old retired microfighters, Star Wars, and I've got a little mini Technic set to do. So I've still got stuff to be going on with, but I try and do it gradually, you know, so I don't get ahead of myself. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and I shall leave it there. So goodbye all, and I'll see you soon.